experiences this with their job, but like that, because I'm a teacher and I teach the same things each year. If I'm going into, oh my gosh, how am I going to get excited about this philosopher I'm teaching again when I can remember just teaching them last year. So if I focus on that, on just doing this again, then it is going to be boring again. So what I do instead is I get excited about something else related to what I'm teaching, or maybe what my students might say that day, or the mood that I'm in. Then I go in and I teach that same thing, but it becomes exciting again because I'm focusing on something else, not like, oh, I've got to teach that thing again.
Exactly. You can climb a tree every day and be excited, but it wasn't the tree.
Right.
And how the excitement arises is letting go of the insistence of how something happens to go.
Right.
You're just opening up a portal to the energy flow. Having insistence on something creates resistance, and therefore there's no energy. So then what happens if we distract ourselves with something, we let go of that flow, and the distraction thing we give the weight to, but that wasn't really it. It had nothing to do with that. So you can do the same thing over and over every day and still generate excitement because it wasn't the thing. And you never really do the same thing twice anyway because you're a different person every time you do it. So when you focus on the outside world and try to rearrange it, that becomes your crux, that becomes your crutch. But know this, the paradox is when you're excited, the outside world is going to look absolutely beautiful. So I'm not denying the outside world. The outside world is the mirror. So when I get all dressed up and do my hair, the first thing I do is look in the mirror for the reflection so I can go outside and know like, hey, I look good. I don't deny the mirror, but when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I don't look so good. I don't blame the mirror. I then go inside and do the work. So everything that's out here started in here. Our thoughts are frequency patterns. And when you actually focus a frequency pattern, you literally solidify it into electrons, and then electrons become collectively matter. So everything that is was once imagined. All this physical matter to some degree is an illusion, but it has a physicality, a vibration frequency to it. Water is a lot lower, that is a lot or denser, water is a lot more malleable so you can stick your hand in it, but this is how we're able to feel and touch things by bouncing off. So when you understand our feelings are what matter, things do not matter. And I'm talking as a physics term. How we feel literally creates physical matter. Things do not replicate matter. I could look at a thing, generate a frequency of it, and then reduplicate a new physical thing. But the thing cannot give birth to another thing. I have to give birth to it, you give birth to it. So when you understand, it all starts in here. So if you don't like the environment you're in, it's because you're reflecting an environment outward. And a lot of times it's based off of judgment and insistence on how it's supposed to look in order for me to be happy. And we all fall into this because we were taught this, and I get it. But it's part and parcel of learning what I'm talking about. So don't get upset because you get upset at things outside, because now you're doubling down and you're getting nowhere. We came here to meddle with the physical world. Not to get rid of it, not to overcome it, but to go with it. And when you understand the aspects of physics in the physical world, there's ups and downs. And when you really embrace the down just as much as you embrace the up, you then get it. You're a joyous moment all the time. You love every moment of the day. But most people just want to feel what they call the high. Well, how did you get high? By going down. The skateboarder cannot elevate above using their ramp above the point in which they're at unless they embrace it. If they don't embrace it, they're going to do this. They might make it up to here, but they might do this. But if they fully enjoy the down, they go up. And know why they do it? Because there's this pinnacle moment that they're not going up and they're not going down. That's why we do it. It's for that moment. But the whole story is part and parcel of that. And then we do it again and again and again and again. We keep doing it. But when we do it, we're anew. But if I'm waiting for that to do it, or if I start measuring it, I defer from it. And the reason I bring up measurement, this funny conversation with a client, and somehow we were talking about sleep. And she's like, oh, I haven't been sleeping well, so I got a Fitbit, and it tells me how well I sleep. So when I wake up and when I look at it to see when my REM was, and once he said that, we both laughed. We both started laughing because you realize you don't need something to measure how you feel. When I wake up in the morning, I know right away whether I slept good or not. All right. Then in that moment, I can choose to place a negative thing on it to a positive thing. So often we want to know where we are by the outcome of the outside world measuring, and that gives us a false representation. Actually diminishes the value of where you are. So go within, and in any situation, any circumstance, there is no built-in meaning other than the meaning we give it. So ask yourself, why would not you give it the best positive meaning you can? You don't have to go from 100 miles an hour in one direction to 100 miles an hour in the other direction. That's just too much for the human existence to do. If I'm going too fast, I would not want to make a U-turn. I want to slow down. So if I'm doing 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction, by taking my foot off the gas, literally stops the car probably about 60 really quick, because the RPMs will drive it down. And then when I'm at a neutral state, that's the point when I choose to move in the direction in which I want to go. And then you look at the point in which you're going in the wrong direction as a positive realm, because now you know you're going in the right direction. So it's all part and parcel. It's how we look at it. So being that all beliefs are valid, why wouldn't you choose a belief that works in your favor?